Hello everyone, welcome to Tolani Talks. Ejeka enjoy. But for watching till I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all. Bye.
To be sure that this random stranger never just came to make allegation that he owns that child. And even if the stranger, eventually, if the DNA is done and it's proved that you as the husband, you are the father of that child, this man will not be prosecuted or will be charged for any reason because he had an affair with your wife before you get married to your wife. So there's chances that the man is right to take that step to want to be sure that his child, that boy is not his child or is his child. So, Mr. Man, I don't know when, if it's UK you are here, they will definitely do that. We have seen cases like that. It has happened. Even close to a friend I know.
The man have a strong evidence of having something to do with your wife.
That's what I'm saying to you.
On the evidence the man is holding.
Okay, you know what? Remember when I was describing the situation, you remember I was telling you, that social services we involve in this issue. They will interview that man. They will take his statement they will ask him, when did you know this woman? When did you have an affair with this woman? The man will say, okay, on this period I was having an affair with this woman. And then the social will ask, during that period, you think that you must have got this woman pregnant? Yes, must have got this woman pregnant. Okay, they will now interview the woman. When did you have any affair with this man? If the woman say, yes, I do have affair with him before I got married. Okay, so this man is claiming now that that period you were having an affair with him, he believed that he must have got you pregnant. But you are claiming that this child doesn't belong to the man because you are married to another man. So while for the welfare of this child and the well-being of this child, we must get DNA done. And if the woman says, no, you can't do DNA, I'm married to this man and this man is the biological father of my son, the social services will say, that's why we need to do DNA to be sure that this random stranger will not come again to be claiming a child that doesn't belong to him. So you will comply as the woman to show that, yes, you are doing the right thing to save yourself from that random stranger embarrassment. You want to get the DNA done.
Madam UK, it is not done in the UK. It is not done.
Tolani, is it done? It's done in this UK. Tolani, you are in Ireland. I know you're coming to fight this because your women
emotion.
It's
done. How long have you been in the UK? How long have you been in the UK?
25 years is not a joke. 25 years is not a joke.
Let me tell you. You see, Tolani, let us stop. Let us stop.
We do the DNA. Social services will come in. I know what I'm saying.
Possible.
I know what I'm saying, Tolani.
Let me explain something to you. You don't know.
No.
Let me explain something to you. Can you tell her to let me explain?
I said you got that woman pregnant. You said you're not going to do
DNA. Join you guys. You don't listen.
Tolani, you listen.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
I just want to ask you a question.
That is a lie. It's never going to happen.
Okay,
that
Tolani,
is a lie.
Calm down. Relax.
It is a lie. Let me tell you something.
Tolani, can I ask you one question? Oh my God.
No,
Tolani,
it is never. We live in the UK together. It's not going to happen.
Let me ask you one question, Tolani.
Any child born in the marriage belongs to that marriage. No outsider will contest it. Never.
If your brother come to you and told you that his girlfriend has got married to another woman, to another man, and then your brother told you that, I think that time I was having an affair with my girlfriend that got married now. I think I must have got her pregnant. I believe that child look like me and that child belongs to me. Will you not advise your brother to go and do DNA?
It is not going to happen. It is never going to happen until that boy grow up.
There's no law that will stop him not to do DNA.
If that boy is 18, if that child is 18, then you go and ask the child. You will no outsider will come to a marriage. No outsider will come to a marriage to contest the baby born in the marriage. For the sake of the children, they don't do that.
Social services will do that for the safety of the child.
No, listen to me. Even if listen to me. Even if services will do that. No, it's never going to happen.
Yes.
Even if you have if you are not married,
I've witnessed it. I've seen it with a friend.
Listen.
I've done it. This is not a story I heard from people.
Let me tell you, madam. Let me tell you. Madam, wait. Let me tell you. If you don't register a child. If you don't register a child, if you are not married to the father of the baby, and you don't register that child, you don't have right on the child. Never. Go ahead.
We're not talking about registration of a child. We're talking about
you did not register. You don't. Even if you are the father of that child, you are living with that child, you are living with the mother, and you did not register that child. That child, you don't have any right on the baby.
Let me share one issue with you. There was a case.
You don't have right.
Tolani, there was a case where our Nigerian people, when they it happened in Ireland where you are there. When they will come and add a baby, they will put it on another man. That this man is the owner. You know where I'm coming from now. You are in Ireland. When they had a baby, because they want this paper thing, they will not put the baby on another man. The man will buy the pregnancy with the baby. It happened in Ireland now.
No. That one is different. They never married.
When they had that's the same thing you are trying to cover up now.
No.
When they had the baby, when there is fight between two of them, they will not bring the secret out.
Listen, if I am pregnant for somebody else, if I am pregnant, if I meet a man. If a man meets me with another man's pregnancy, and if I got married to that man, anybody you get married to, the baby and that baby in that marriage, the baby belongs to that man you got married to, not somebody else from outside. No.
If you were having an affair with another man before you get married, and you got pregnant in the marriage.
Once I am married. Once I am married. If I am married to somebody in January and I have my baby in February, if the baby was from somebody from outside, you cannot claim it. Only if my husband complain. You cannot. Nobody can come from outside and say, I had an affair. No.
Are you trying to tell me that if the man that you think you have an affair with now come up and says, I want to do DNA test with you because I believe that baby is mine?
The law will say no. Only if that person did not marry. In the marriage, if somebody says marriage, you cannot go to somebody married.
I'm telling you, Tolani, even if he's married, the man has the right to have access to that child if the child belongs to the man.
What if they do the DNA and the baby is not yours? So you can just walk into somebody's family.
Good. Then they continue their marriage life.
Go to somebody's family and say the baby is yours. No.
Tolani,
you cannot go to somebody's family and say the baby is yours.
Do you know what his father's right? Do you know what his father's right? Do you know what his father's right? If I believe that this child belongs to me, you cannot deprive me from doing DNA whether the woman is married or not.
Only if my husband complains. If I am dating you,
if your boyfriend that you pregnant for complain, you will not going to do the DNA.
Your business.
The social services will step in. That is where the government will step in and make sure that the DNA is being done for the welfare of that boy.
No, they don't do that. They don't do that.
They do that here in UK. I don't know of Ireland. Even in Ireland, they do it. Even in Ireland, they do it.
No. They
carry pregnancy of another man, go and give another woman, another man. Then when there is problem, then the thing will come back.
They did it then.
Then they will go and do DNA
in Ireland, but they did not get married. That is different. If you are not married,
the one that you people used to use the pregnancy to go and sell it for another man.
Nobody can contest your DNA, your child DNA, your marriage. Nobody. Even if you are living with your partner, in the UK, if you are living with your partner, living with your partner in the UK and you have a baby without marriage, you did not. If your partner did not register that baby, if you go to the registry and register your baby alone, that man that you are living with, the father of your baby, doesn't have any rights on that child. It doesn't have. So if your partner travel to Nigeria and you have your baby, you register your baby without your partner. If you have marriage, if you guys are married, you go to the registry with your marriage certificate. They will put your husband's name in the birth certificate. Once you are not married, you will go and register the baby on your own. Your husband, the father of the baby, did not have right on that child because his name is not on the birth certificate. That is it.
That can be revoked. The birth certificate will be revoked.
They don't do that.
That's why the DNA is proving that the other guy is the owner of the child, the DNA. But we will go to court and revoke that registration. They will revoke it and put the right name there because the father of the child is as clarified, officially known. Is officially.
Something you are not getting for the issue of marriage and the issue of child within that marriage, it's a different ball game. Even if truly you are not even the owner of that child, truly, if you check through the interpretation acts or most of all these laws, they will tell you who is a father. You know, as much as the man provides shelter, you've done all your proper, so it doesn't even come to question who impregnated the woman. It's not even the fact that in as much as you're legally married to the woman, she has a child. So it is obviously, there's no way you're taking it. Any child that is produced within the context of that marriage, that child will stay within that marriage.
We're not saying the child is not going to stay within the marriage. We are saying that in a situation where the child belongs to another man, that man has access to that child.
Listen, Madam Justice, right? I'm from UK as well, and I've lived in UK for, I don't know, maybe 30 odd years. Okay. What did Mr. Oyere explain is the way to go. If you are married, listen to this carefully. If you are married, legally married, right? No one can come between your marriage unless the husband or the partner said, "Listen, I'm not sure if I'm the husband. I'm not sure whether I'm the owner of the baby." Then the issue can be taken as precedent. But if somebody coming from outside, let me finish. If somebody coming from outside, right? Let's say before the marriage, right? And then you got pregnant during your marriage. It's a kind of circumstances basis. They weigh the options. They do the calculations, right? The social service will get involved, yes, right? And not just social service alone. They looked at the pros and cons, look at the doctor, calculate when the child in question was born, and then try to calculate when you're the one that you're claiming. But don't forget, when the child is born in UK, the child is named immediately, right? And if I put my name, right, on that child, that this is my child, right, it becomes a bit more for even an interesting case because I am acknowledging the child as mine. But if I have a dispute as a husband that, I doubt the child, then that's another issue. So the edge case that you are discussing is about before marriage and immediately after marriage. So don't generalize that kind of cases. But for me as a father, regardless whether my wife went out to do shenanigans, right? And I had my baby and baby is named on my name. You cannot come in as a third party. It's never going to be allowed.
Thank you very much. And that's why I'm trying to explain.
Solani, that is not correct. Different from what I don't think that is correct. Not in Nigeria.
In UK, this is the way it goes, Papa.
And I don't think that is even correct as well in the UK.
That is it. If you don't name your, if you did not register your child, you don't have right.
I'll send you a lot of link. I'll send you a lot of link.
Let's do it this way. Okay. Reference me to some article which you have. I have this one before me here. Let me give you this one. This one is from Scotland. Okay, Scotland is part of the Kingdom, the United Kingdom. Okay, within an action of declaration of parentage or non-parentage in terms of Section 70 of the Law Reform Miscellaneous Provisions, Scotland Act 1990, the court may request a party to provide a sample of blood or other body fluid or of body tissue for the purpose of laboratory analysis and or to consent to the taking of such a sample from a child in relation to whom the party has power to give such consent. Should any person who has been asked to provide a sample for the purpose of DNA testing refuse to do so, such adverse inferences may be drawn by the court. So where the alleged father was in a relationship with the mother at the time of conception, but the mother denies he is the father, the alleged father can apply to the court and ask that she is invited to submit a DNA test to determine the position. Her refusal to do so may result in the court inferring that she is refusing to do so because she knows that the alleged father is the biological father. If she were certain he was not the biological father, she would cooperate with a DNA test which would support her position. So in this case, it was a dispute between a woman who was married. The woman who was married. I can read it from the beginning. It's a married woman.
You see, this is what I was saying. Tolani,
a married woman.
Because of your
what they request, they need alleged father evidence. The alleged father show evidence of sexual relationship with the woman.
It is not possible.
You act like you know it's before marriage.
No.
You don't know
Even if you don't register your child, you don't have right.
You like, because
you don't know what you're saying.
This to cover for your Wunmi who refused to do DNA. People jump up and down from one man to another. Carry another man pregnancy, go and give another man to marry.
Did not dispute.
You did not dispute Liam. Look at the way you twist it around.
Leave Wunmi alone.
Did you see that?
Did not doubt Liam. No.
Tell your friend to go and do DNA.
For the
by now Wunmi would have done
She will not do it for you.
Tolani, by now Wunmi for don't go do DNA. And DNA we don't want to say for don't submit her. For don't submit that pikin. That is why social services are involved in children's life. Why will I do DNA? I'm not the father of my children.
No,
nobody, they don't fight for them.
Your children. That's why you ask for other people's.
I don't the father of my baby, so I don't do DNA.
Your children. That is why you are asking for other people's.
Don't challenge me, sir. I don't know where I'm going for now. You're not going to do it for you now. You just come, just drop your face. It's not
possible. Get a lie.
Your friend get away, no agree to DNA.
But she's not going to do it. She's not going to do
DNA. That shows that she's not the father. That shows that Bobad is not the father of that boy. That's why that DNA is so paining you. It's so annoying you. You are so depressed. You are so stressed up. That DNA is hurting you very well. Bobad will keep on giving you that relief pressure. You must do DNA. She must do that DNA. Look at what you are talking about. Every little thing you call about, every little thing you insult, you insult. Shame on you. I never be Wunmi friend. I can never be Wunmi friend. Live.
Let me one minute, yes, please.
You see the way you want to around.
Okay, I want to read this. In Scotland,
that there is a
it's
problem with the potential of that child. DNA will be gone.
You're asking for DNA in Nigeria. No single mother.
Tolani the betrayer.
Let me read this.
Tell Wunmi to go and do DNA. To do DNA betrayal. I came up because of you. Tell your Wunmi DNA is a must. If she's sure, tell her to do DNA. Go and tell Wunmi to do DNA for your children. Your children's father is not their father. Betrayer. I come up because of you.
Let's read this. Okay. Who dropped Tolani? Who dropped her?
You must have mistakenly dropped her. Please bring her in.
No, I think a moderator dropped her. Anyway,
in a very hard way.
Now, in Scotland, it is presumed that if you were married to the child's mother at the time of birth, then you are the biological father of that child. It is also presumed that if you are registered as the child's father on their birth certificate, even if you were not married, then you are the child's biological father. In both scenarios, the alleged father will automatically have parental rights and responsibilities in respect of the child. What can be done when the unmarried father is not registered on the child's birth certificate? What if the mother refuses to consent to a DNA test and denies that he is the father? And what can be done where the purported father has been registered on the child's birth certificate, but suspect that he may not be the biological father? In cases such as this, an application can be made before the court for a declarator of parentage or a declarator of non-parentage in terms of Section 7 of the Law Reform Parent and Child, Scotland Act 1986. I mean, I don't know why the court is there if court cannot resolve issues. I mean, the law is not absolute. People can always approach because there are always dispute cases. All the court wants to see is evidence and then mediate between the parties involved and see if there's any connection at all anyway. So it used to be the case that evidence will need to be laid about the parties' sexual relations. Okay, so whoever party that comes, how did you know her? Do you have evidence showing that you know this woman, you've been together with her? The involved party must show something. You can't just go to a married woman and tell, her that you want her to DNA on the child, that belongs to her marriage, because by presumption, that child any child born into a marriage belongs to that marriage. Legally, that's a legal stand. But Evidence Act 167 of the Nigerian law, and I think it's the same act that the UK also practice. It says that is a presumption. That does not mean it's absolute. Upon a reasonable application, then that in front of the court, it will be reviewed. And if that can be proven, in fact, the fact that a woman allow you to register your name as the father of her baby, if later is proven that you are not the father of the baby, it's a perjury charge on her in Nigeria. Yeah. If I marry a woman and the child she give birth to in my marriage, I later do DNA, and that child doesn't belong to me, and I have my name on that child, and it's going to be revoked, and then there's going to be a criminal case of perjury of about 14 years on her. Paternity fraud itself is not the case. It's not an offense globally, but what arises from it, that is perjury, having somebody else signing to be the father of the child who he is not. It's an offense in Nigeria, and I think everywhere in the world that's perjury. So as I was reading this case, again, they have to go to court in a particular case like this. They have to prove their sexual, where did I stop? They have to prove their sexual, whatever, where is it? Okay, so yeah. So it used to be the case that evidence would need to be laid about the parties' sexual relations and likelihood of the mother having conceived with the alleged father based on the period of gestation. However, advance in science mean that DNA testing is likely to be best evidence in such cases. I see no reason when we have, it doesn't even make sense anywhere in the world when we have DNA testing that only takes saliva swapping that can provide evidence and solve a problem in minutes or even in few hours. And some people will say they don't want to have it done. They don't want to do it. Then you want us to continue to have complications of issues. It's very simple. The world has advanced, please. So parties do not always wish to consent to DNA testing, and in the absence of the alleged father having parental right and responsibility, he may not have a legal basis upon which to consent or arrange the testing of the child. If the mother, who automatically has parental right and responsibility in respect of the child, refuses to submit to a DNA test or refuses to allow the child to be tested, then the court may invite her to do so, even if she's married. Within an action of declarator, let me take it from here. Within an action of declarator of parentage or non-parentage in terms of Section 17 of the Law Reform Scotland Act 1990, the court may request a party to provide a sample of blood or other body fluid or of body tissue for the purpose of laboratory analysis, and to consent to the taking of such a sample from a child in relation to whom the party has power to give such consent. Should any person who has been asked to provide a sample for the purpose of DNA testing refuse to do so, such adverse inferences may be drawn by the court. So where the alleged father was in a relationship with the mother at the time of conception, but the mother denies he is the father, the alleged father can apply to the court and ask that she is invited to submit to a DNA test to determine the position. Her refusal to do so may result in the court inferring that she is refusing to do so because she knows that the alleged father is the biological father. If she were certain he was not the biological father, she would cooperate with a DNA test which would support her position. I mean, this is very clear and glaring and simple. People should take advantage of the law. If Wunmi is not scared of DNA, if Wunmi think Baba Mohbad is not correct, then let her do DNA. Very simple.
And this is the kind of person, Wunmi of a person, this is the kind of person Tolani is proud of. Somebody that cannot just go and do DNA and clear the hair. And it's the kind of person you are proud of, Tolani. You should be ashamed of yourself. Me going around that kind of person of Wunmi. She can never be my friend. I cannot have anything with this kind of people. All my friends know their baby father. And if the ones that have got dispute of not knowing the father or the father is questioning the paternity of the child, they went to do DNA, they clear the hair. They move on from there. You know, Paparano, when I was explaining to them, they refused to believe me. If you refuse to do it because you are not married, you take someone else's pregnancy to go and give another man and marry that man, think that you have tied that man with that pregnancy, when the law starts hunting on you, you will submit yourself and that child to show you that the Nigerian system is not working. That's why Wunmi is still freely enjoying herself, dancing in a car 2 days ago or last week. Yeah. If it's you and you think by now, you social services will be on your door, knocking your door. They want that child duty of care. They hold that child duty of care to ensure that the child is safe with your new husband. And your husband is, if your husband accepts to carry on with the child that is not belongs to him, that is their problem. But they will make sure that the welfare of that child is being looked after. And they will still give that father that you deny of, not that you pretend or cover up that you don't want to give that child to the father. The father still have that right to visit, to have access to that child. They will not come to your matrimonial home, but they will have a center where they will be asking you, that woman, to be taking that child to go and meet the father to have access to that child. That's how it's done. That's where you know law works. Law works in this country. You cannot, because you are married, because you have husband, the husband has the power to come and say, yes, even if that child doesn't belong to me, that man has no right to come to ask of the child. He has rights. Like this Wunmi's son now, if the father now come that he wants to have access to the child, even if Mohbad is still alive and Mohbad claims that child to be his own, when the law starts hunting, Wunmi, we have no choice than to give that child to the father that it belongs to the father. And the father wants to fight that I want to have custody of my child. Regardless, you are the one looking after the child for many years with my wife. Yeah. There is a law called father's right. There is a law in UK here called father's right. There are a lot of women who have done this. They will carry another man's child and keep it with their husband and protect the child not to go and see the father. The father, they will go and fight to the court of Supreme, High Court of Justice and Supreme Court to have access to their child, which they cannot deprive that because you are married to that woman. They want to deprive the man not to have access to the child because you are married to the man. It doesn't work that. It doesn't work here in UK. I was trying to explain to Tolani, and it's just she was trying to twist it around to favor Wunmi because she's just all her intention was, let me come and fight and protect this thing. This is how they mislead Wunmi. Before you 30 minutes ago, you were saying that you are the one that even went to go and check how the law works when it comes to DNA. I remember in Tolani platform and other anti-justice platform, they used to like tell Wunmi, he has no right The father has no right to come and tell you to do DNA. You can't do DNA. Then when the law starts coming now,
there is a rule to doing DNA, madam. There is a rule to doing DNA. If you want to challenge somebody's child, there are only 3 people that can do it. The father of the child, the person that is saying I'm the one that owns it, and the mother. Those are the 3 people. There is nobody contesting Wunmi.
Yes.
Nobody is contesting. Baba Mohbad is asking for DNA because of property.
But go and tell Wunmi to do DNA.
You are asking
Wunmi to do DNA because of property.
Bring proof that Wunmi killed his husband.
We are not talking about proof, madam. We are talking about DNA.
Why will Baba Mohbad want DNA of a child that is not his?
Who are you to ask that question? Are you his family?
I am.
Who are you to ask that question?
I am a social worker and I'm telling you the right thing to do.
I don't care who you are.
Nobody has that right.
You're supposed to protect that child
misleading people.
You're supposed to protect that
misleading people. You are all liars.
You are
Nobody can blame Wunmi for what we don't do. You are the social department.
Come and see people that is taking another people's child. Another man child, they will take it away. Come to join me. Come to join me, madam. Come and see another people there. Another man is taking responsibility for another child.
Social worker that doesn't know her job. If you are a social worker, you're supposed to know that you have to protect for the best interest of that child. That child needs to know where it comes from. So you are happy the way that boy now that is with Wunmi has got stigma in the whole world. The people are questioning the paternity of that child, and you are not encouraging that arrogant woman to go and do DNA to be sure that this child belongs to Mohbad. What is she going to lose if that child belongs to Mohbad? What is she going to lose? She will even gain more. She will achieve more.
Social worker, useless social worker.
Hello, good evening. Can I say something, please?
She's not a social worker.
I know something like this that is happening now. Can I just explain my experience now? I know something like this. It's obviously my husband. He had a child with a lady when he newly came here in Belgium. So they have the child. The child was just like 2 years. So the lady left my husband because he don't have paper that time. But it was my husband who registered the child in the hospital. So she threw away my husband because my husband don't have paper, because for her now having that child, because they were not married, so they will obviously give her document because of that child. She started getting document because of that child. So my husband left her. They parted their ways, both ways. So now she became married to another guy, and this guy now, she took my husband's daughter and put the name of that guy on my husband's daughter's name in the commune, in the administration. So now, after 18 years, my husband have asked the commune, the government, he asked through his lawyer to ask for that child because he wants to claim the child. Because since then, he have been asking her, let me claim my child, let me claim my child. She keep refusing. So now my husband asked for the child through his lawyer, and DNA have been asked because my husband's name is not on the child's name in the country. They don't know my husband as the father. So now DNA have been granted to be done on the daughter and my husband. I think in August, they went there on the 4th, so they have made an appointment for DNA to be done. So you see, and she's married, or she's still married with the guy.
Oh, so we are not hearing you.
You can't hear me.
Can you speak louder, please? We can't hear you anymore. Your volume is low.
It's very low. We cannot hear you.
We can still not hear you. We can still not hear you.
I don't know why.
Increase your volume loud.
Can't you hear me now?
Increase your volume.
This is my volume. Okay.
Good, it's better now.
Yes, I said normally they Government did not know my husband for the child since then, because his name was not on her and he was not officially paying anything for her. And because of the mother went and changed the name and put another man's name, now DNA have been granted to be done on both of them to know who is the father, who is the legal father, biological father, and me. Now put it right now. Yeah. So you see, this is the same kind of thing Paparano read. I hope you guys understand me.
Yeah, we understand you. So eventually now, is your husband now taking the custody of that your husband's daughter?
Yes, though she's going to stay, she's still going to stay with her mother, but yes, my husband is going to be the official father if the DNA prove that he's the biological father.
There's no way you can take someone else's child and go and hang it on someone else because you are a superwoman. Eh? Wunmi is trying to show that she's a superwoman, forcing another child to Mohbad to be the father. Why the father is somewhere out there? Okay, if you as a woman, you are very sure that this child belongs to your husband, go and do DNA. You the social worker, the good for nothing social worker that just come on board now saying that is only the father, but these are the people that was telling
babysitter, don't be social worker, babysitter.
No, it's nanny. We call them nanny. Okay, let's assume that she's a fake social worker. She to show you that she's not a social worker. A social worker will never come on a platform to protect a child who the paternity of that child is being questioned. A social worker will never do that. They will even come here and encourage Wunmi to go and do DNA for the best interest of that child. A social worker holds all children in the whole world duty of care, whereby there is a dispute. You think if it's UK here, by now that DNA issue would have been sorted, life and direct. Because the social services will take that case upon them, the regardless court, and the social services will oppose that to the court that we want DNA. We don't care if the father, Mohbad, or the mother, Wunmi, don't want DNA. We want DNA because there's someone out there who is not sure that this child doesn't belong to these two couples. So we want to go DNA for them. And they will invite two of them to go DNA. So what are we talking here? Who cares whether Mohbad did not, according to Tolani, is saying that Mohbad never disputes the paternity of that boy. Who cares? There is issue on ground. This guy has been pied. He was pied. So there's possible whoever that is investigating this case should have exhaust every angle to make sure that nothing is untouched, so that that will lead us to what happened to Mohbad Paying. DNA is part of the investigation to be sure that whoever that child father is does not have hands in Mohbad Paying. That's why we want that DNA. Because Wunmi is not coming up to tell us what happened in that house. The 15 people in that house is not coming to tell us what happened in that house. They were putting all the blame on crime, but that is not there. So we need this DNA. Okay, look at what Paparano read. That this is the process, this is the law that holds that, which UK law is almost similar to Nigeria law, because United Kingdom colonized Nigeria. So we all dance almost the same law. So if the law is asking you to go and do DNA, if like what Paparano say, if the DNA is not important, as Baba took that case to court of DNA, which Paparano gave them that information, they don't even know what to do. According to the legal team lawyer, they don't even know what to do. It's Paparano that even bring that information that they can get that DNA done. Grandfather has the right to go for DNA. Meanwhile, all that process, Tolani and our group team, anti-justice, they were telling Wunmi, nobody can force you. Like this fake social worker now. Nobody can force you. You have no right to do it. Nobody can ask you to go and do DNA. If the grandfather has no right for that DNA, the court would have struck that case off the court. Trust me, the court would have strike that case off. That DNA case would have not been there. So for that case to still be there, that shows that grandfather has the right to question the paternity of that child. And from the news or the rumor we have been hearing is that there was an argument, there was a fight, there was a problem between Wunmi and Mohbad regarding the father of that boy. Not being the father of that boy. So for you, if as a woman, if you really love your son very well, You will help that boy to get the father. So let everybody know who is the father. And so what?